Welcome, everybody, to the Fantasy WNBA Today with your boy, Rick Kamla. We put the WA under our spotlight. We do it once a week, every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Tell your buddies about it. Get it out on your timeline. Please retweet it for us. But welcome to the show. It's a weekly recap, basically, of the WNBA. We've got different segments, and we have a good time. We start, ladies and gentlemen, with the top three from the past week. Then we go to the bottom three from the last week and cover the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Number one, I can't believe I'm leading the show with this, but I am. The expansion Golden State Valkyries sent a statement to the WNBA by way of the once proud Las Vegas Aces. They are a part of the bottom three from last week. This part right here, this little ditty, is about the Valkyries, all right? They destroyed the Aces 95-68. What? What is that, dude? So Golden State moves to 3-5 on the season. Good for them. Right now, the expansion Golden State Valkyries would be the 8th seed in the WNBA playoffs. And they would be in the playoffs right now playing the New York Liberty in the first round. Pretty cool, right? Golden State's Kayla Thornton had the first 20-point double-double of her career in this game, 22 points, 11 boards. Veronica Burton, who is one of the top fantasy pickups, not anymore, she's already been scooped up, but she, not unlike Dyson Daniels in the NBA last year, is on the way to maybe being the pickup of the year. She has been sensational. It was a toggle between her and Julie Van Loo, at least in terms of a lot of our fantasy brains. That is not how it's working out. It is the point guard spot is Burton's job. She's a terrific defensive guard. She had her first double-double with 14 points and 12 assists. The numbers keep going up. I mean, we found gold with Veronica Burton, man. I'm telling you right now, gold. Do not trade her. Ride this out. She's going to be fantastic all year. And Golden State, it's fun that they're competitive and that they're not like frickin' Dallas with one win right now. Like Dallas. And I'll get to them in a minute. I don't want to spoil the Golden State party here. Monique Billings had 14 points and 11 boards. Three ladies with double-doubles. First time this season that a team has had three players record double-doubles in the same game. The Valkyries did that, okay? This is crazy stuff here. They shot a season-best 48% from the floor. They shot 36% from three in this game. And very importantly, they held A'ja Wilson in check. The reigning MVP had 8 points in the first half, 17 in the game. She only shot 5 of 13. Valkyries coach Natalie Nikasi said that she reminded her team that Wilson could go off at any point. She called her the best player in the world. And they did a great job on her. They threw doubles at her. They threw multiple bodies at her. They man-and-a-halfed her. And they, Wilson said after the game, it's nothing I haven't seen. I get all of that. But the Valkyries defense was swarming. They did have a target. Her name was A'ja Wilson. And I would do the same thing. Jewel Lloyd is awful right now. Jackie Young was awful in this game. So the head of the snake, go take it off. They did the best they could with that. But, and like I said, I'll have more on the Aces in a minute. But the statement was sent from Golden State here. All right, they had 2 wins going into this game, right? They were 2-5. All right, 2-5 sucks. 3-5, it just looks a lot better. I don't know. But if you, because the Aces probably, it's Golden State. We'll crank them. We just put our shoes on, put our uniform on, we'll be fine. The statement is that you can't do that against Golden State. There's a little heartbeat with their program. They've got some good players, and if you slip, they'll beat you. So don't slip, all right? When you play the Golden State Valkyries, I'm not saying you gotta bring like championship medal to that fight, but turn your brain on. I think Vegas turned their brains off, okay? Kind of like I do when I'm on vacation or something. You just turn your brain off. Like all I do is think. Like I'm on vacation right now. I don't want to think. Like, in other words, what do you want to do today? Sit at the beach and stare at the water. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you have a plan, maybe we go with that plan. I don't want to think. Okay, so if you're a WNBA team, get out of that, all right? And you need to lock in here against the Golden State Valkyries. And that's the statement that they sent. Good for them. They lead off the show. Pretty crazy. Let's talk about the Indiana Fever. They have righted the ship. Caitlin Clark missed her 4th game against Chicago over the weekend. There are reports there's a possibility she could return this week, which obviously would be very, very cool. Especially for me in Fantasy W. I have a bunch of Clark shares this year, and I'm very happy to have them. My teams, I'm like 2-1 in a lot of leagues. I'm 1-2 in a couple of leagues because of all of the injuries. It's really, it's been tough so far. So hopefully we can get Caitlin Clark back this week. Obviously, it is a big deal for the league because she is the face of the league. I saw there was I think it's the Gatorade ad for the Florida football team, and we called her stuff Gatorade, right? The Southern accent and all that. And they flashed all of these stars. It's Asia Wilson and it's all these men and women and all the biggest stars in the game. And they ended with a really dramatic shot of Caitlin Clark drinking Gatorade, right? Like of all those stars, like LeBron and like all these, and then Caitlin Clark is sort of like the boom at the end of the like. She's one of the top faces of sports in America. She is clearly the face of the WNBA. Whether you want to acknowledge that, whether that pisses you off, like I don't care. And I'm not manufacturing any opinions here based on all of the clickbait bullcrap. I'm just saying, like you watch ads. Like I say, you cannot tell me that Anthony Edwards is not the face of the NBA. You can't tell me that. It's not true. Okay. Is he the best player in the NBA? No, not even close. Well, I shouldn't say not even close. He's relatively close. Every single commercial has Ant-Man in them. I don't see Jokic. I don't see SGA. I mean, I see that AT&T ad, that dorky ad with him and J-Dub and Chet 10,000 times every time I turn the TV on. But that doesn't, I mean, that's cool, but that's one ad. What else is SGA? I know he reps Skims. But anyway, Caitlin Clark's the face of this league, man. Whether you want to admit it, acknowledge it, like it, doesn't matter. It is what it is. Like, you may, I don't like LeBron James. Well, tough shit. He's the face of the NBA. You know, you can not like it all you want. So, Caitlin Clark may return next week. Sophie Cunningham was also out on Saturday with a right ankle injury. And so, the Fever went out and made a really good move. When LA cut Ari McDonald, I was like, what are you doing? Like, she's a bucket getter. Is she a great player? No. Solid bench player. She is a serviceable starter. I've messed with her in fantasy leagues before, like years before, and may again. It's a really good pickup. And with all the injuries, they got an emergency hardship. They picked her up. She had 12 points and 3 steals on Saturday. She's a good player. I don't understand why the Sparks cut her. I really don't. It makes no sense to me. Kelsey Mitchell, who I called out last week. I should say called up. I don't like, hey, you stinking all that. I was just like, yo, you got to pick your game up, man. She has really, really responded. She had 17 points in that win against the Sky. So Indiana had lost 3 straight games. Now they've won 2 games in a row. They're 4-4. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. You just needed to like not crater without Caitlin Clark. All right, they kind of were, and that's I called them out last week. Like y'all got to stop feeling sorry for yourselves, man. You got to treat it like Caitlin ain't coming back. We got to do this ourselves. And start chopping wood and grinding, man. And they are. And they've won 2 games in a row. So good for them. And, you know, defensively, the Fever were fantastic. They held Chicago to fewer points Saturday than they did when beating the Sky 93-58 in the team season opener. And to me, Indiana, when healthy, is still the 3rd best team in this league. We clearly have a top 2. There is not a 3rd team in the top tier. The top tier is 2 teams. It is the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. Okay, draw a line, and then it's a battle for who's 3rd. Right now, it's the Atlanta Dream, the plucky Atlanta Dream. Told you, Phoenix is up there, and obviously Indiana, once they get Clark back, they're going to start making a surge as well. It is wide open, though, after Minnesota and New York right now. Wide open. I want to tell you about the Sports Ethos app. It is Rick Kamla here. We are the Fantasy WNBA Today. The Sports Ethos app is incredible. It's free. You should go to your favorite app store and download it now. We're making huge investments over here in what we call the next generation of Sports Ethos, and we're bringing it to you. Over the last year, it's been a game changer for us on all fronts. We're working hard behind the scenes to deliver the best fantasy product you've ever experienced, kind of like what you're watching right now. So download our app, stay on top of all the latest news for the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball, and take advantage of our fantasy basketball tools. Our app is your ultimate edge, so get in the game and don't miss out on that. All right, number 3 in my top 3 from last week. My Lynx moved to 9-0 with their victory yesterday against the sucky Dallas Wings. I'll get to them in a minute. They drive me crazy. The Dallas Wings drive me. Talk about the Lynx, dude. Talk about the Lynx. It's just my pendulum, pardon me, is swinging towards the Aces, and it's kind of fun to bang on teams. It is. But the Minnesota Lynx moved to 9-0. All right. Napheesa Collier went viral with her stat line again. Hopefully you all watched the game. 28, 10, and 4. 3 blocks, 3 steals, 3 threes. What? That is one of the best lines of the year in the WNBA. 28, 10, and 4, PRA, points, rebounds, assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals, 3 threes. Gaudy. That's Wemby-esque, okay? That's a joke. And she played 37 minutes. Kayla McBride, and by the way, obviously, right now, with Asia, like, playing at a really, really high level, but not the level she was last year, and she's getting dragged down by the gravity of her team. It's not her fault. And she's still in the MVP race. But Napheesa's up here, man. She's 9-0. Her stats are amazing. She's the MVP of the league right now, and it's not a debate. It can become a debate, okay? I'm not putting this thing to bed in like week 3 of the WNBA. See, it's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying right now Napheesa has a big lead, and I like to assess this because a month from now I'll be here, hey, that lead has shrunk. Asia Wilson's averaged 30 points a game in her last 10 or something. Okay, all that is possible. Right now, Fee with the stats and with the record, she's the MVP. Caitlin Clark's going to have something to say about this when she comes back, right? But she's out, and it's really cleared the way for Napheesa to get a big lead in the MVP race. And look, that's important. A lot of people, voters, who I think largely stink, they get something in their head, it stays there, and they never deviate from it. They just get locked in on it, okay? And so, like, Asia can make a run, it's not going to matter. Caitlin can make a run, it's not going to matter because they've already got it in their brain. Fee's the MVP this year. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. It's human nature, okay? So it's very important that Fee has this big lead early on, and she sort of captivated everybody and like grabbed everybody by the shirt collar early in the season. Very, very important to do that. I saw Lamar Jackson, him, win a Heisman Trophy that I didn't think he should have won based on the same premise. Deshaun Watson should have won the Heisman that year. And Lamar Jackson dipped as the season went along. People put the voting to bed, and he won the Heisman. And it pisses me off to this day because it's just dumb. It's just dumb. You got to watch the whole season. You got to consume every week with the same veracity, with the same value, okay? But people don't do that. Any old way. Kayla McBride missed the beginning of the season with the personal issues. Not sure what happened there, but she's been fantastic, man. 21, 3-3 in this game. 2 steals, 6 bombs. Fantastic player. Great number 2 to Fee in Minnesota. And my Lynx. How about my Lynx? I'm going to get into some cool math here in a minute. They're 9-0. By the way, just a quick thing here. I've got it in my notes, so I'll read it. Dallas has no clue. Their coach, Koklanis, I believe is it. No clue. Literally no clue. I would be better coaching the Dallas Wings as just a fantasy manager on the sideline. Just doling it. Like, this guy has no clue. The starting lineups, he has sent Tierra McCowan over to Turkey for Eurobasket. Like, this guy's an idiot. He's the most clueless coach I've seen in the WNBA and the NBA in a long time. Actually, I got it. Since Nate Bjorkgren. Remember Nate Bjorkgren went from Toronto, winning the chip with Nick Nurse, and then went to Indiana. Complete disaster. It was a complete mutiny on him. The players hated him, blah, blah, blah. That Koklanis is the Nate Bjorkgren of the WNBA. This is a disaster. All right, I'll have more on that in a minute. I have a question for you. When will be Minnesota's first loss? Okay, I looked this up. This is going to maybe blow you away. And look, there's no guarantees Minnesota could lose any of these games, but they probably won't, okay? They might not lose until July 30th. It is June 9th. I'm going to say this again. They might not lose until July 30th, and it's June 9th, okay? That's almost 2 months out. on top of being 9-0. Okay, so check this out. And so Minnesota plays the Liberty on July 30th. It is the showdown of showdowns of showdowns. Write it down right now. I think it's a Wednesday night. Don't hold me to that. Maybe Andre can keep me honest on that. But it's July 30th. It's on ESPN. Huge game. We're all looking forward to it. Both teams might be undefeated heading into that game. It's probably not going to go down that way, but both teams might be undefeated going into that game. That's how dominant Minnesota is and New York is. The Lynx have a very, very soft schedule ahead of them. And based on my speculative math, you got to listen to the words I'm saying, speculative math here. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm saying this is possible. Let's look out on the horizon at perhaps some history that could go down. That's all we're doing here. A 27-0 start is possible for the Lynx. A 27-0 start is legit possible. The Golden State Warriors went 24-0 to begin their 73-9 season. Okay, so, oh my God, nobody will ever. Golden State just kind of almost did that. All right. It's, again, possible. It's not likely. It's possible. So here's the upcoming schedule for Minnesota. Actually, and I may be jinxing them right now with this entire conversation. I do acknowledge that possibility. On Wednesday, they're at Seattle. Seattle's dangerous. That is a very tough place to play. The crowd is going to be insane. All right. The undefeated Lynx are in town. Crowd's going to be lit. Absolutely lit up there in Seattle. They might lose this game. Okay. Who's the better team? Clearly, Minnesota's the better team. Diggins and NECA and Magbagor and Erica Wheeler, like they may have other ideas here, okay? And they may buzzsaw Minnesota. They may be 9-1, and this whole conversation may not age well, all right? But I want to have it, okay? Let's say they get by Seattle. They're 10-0. Then on Saturday, they will be at home against the Sparks. That looks like a win. Okay, that's 11-0. Tuesday, they're home against Las Vegas. Anything can happen, but that looks like a win. Then they're back home against the Sparks. That looks like a win. Then they're at Washington. That looks like a win. Then they're at Atlanta. My plucky dream. All right, but that still looks like a win for Minnesota. Then they're home to Connecticut, home to Washington, home to GSV, don't sleep, home to Chicago, at Phoenix, at the Sparks, at Chicago, home against Phoenix, again against Chicago, at home against the Aces, and at home against the Dream. And then July 30th, and it is a Wednesday, they will be at home against the New York Liberty. I'm just saying. That's a pretty freaking soft schedule right there. And if they lose a game or two, it'll be a game or two, right? All right, so they, pardon me, they have a possibility to go 27-0 heading into the game against the New York Liberty. But what if they're 25-2? What if they're 24-3? That's still going to be an oh my God record. All right. And check this out. All of this is like cool stuff and playing it out. All right. How long can they go? But the best start in WNBA history was authored up by my Minnesota Lynx back in 2016. They started 13-0. All right. They're 9-0 right now. They're 4 wins without a loss away from tying the best start in WNBA history. And obviously then, 5 away from having the best start in WNBA history. Now, here's the thing. The New York Liberty also have a chance. Like, think about this. What if the Liberty and the Lynx both start 13-0 and they both are about to break the record, and then we're looking at the Lynx and we're looking at the Liberty and and one team's 15-0 to start, one team's 17-0 to start. Like, this is crazy cool stuff. It really is. This is awesomely historic stuff in a collision course on what, barring injuries and God forbid, right? But if these teams stay whole, they're going to be in the WNBA finals. I'm telling you, because Indiana, they're going to make a run, right? But Indiana's going to be, new, like the Liberty and the Lynx are been there, done that. We've been in wars. We know what to expect. There's going to be no confusion, no chaos at all in the moment of truth. For Indiana, that might happen a little bit. They have not been in moment of truth situations yet. They will have been there a couple times in the playoffs leading up to that, but it's not the same. Next year, the Fever will have that seasoning, right? This year, they're not going to have that. It'll be building this year, and I think that's going to be a powerful advantage for New York and or Minnesota if they play Indiana in the playoffs. All right, I want to tell you about sportsethos.com. All of our work, all of our brilliant minds, not including me, of course, all the other brilliant minds here, they're available at sportsethos.com. Although my work is over there, I just don't want to put the brilliant adjective in front of it. It seems a little unhumble. We pride ourselves on being competitive, taking is unhumble a word, taking no shortcuts and delivering the best fantasy analysis in the game. Our drive is simple. I make up words a lot, okay? To be the best, to win, and to make sure you win with us. Also, please subscribe to our work, man. The prices are as low as they will ever be. And our grandfather programs make your subscription price incredibly cheap as we keep adding more and more value to the platform. You're like, grandfather, that means you lock in like what you want with a New York City apartment. You want to be grandfathered in. Okay, let's say it's $2,800 a month for a little box, right, in Manhattan. And I've lived in one of those boxes for a little while. It got too small and claustrophobic. I had to leave and go back to Jersey. But I did love living in Manhattan. But you want to lock in your rent in Manhattan. You want to grandfather it in because obviously it's the most expensive place I've ever lived and ever been in my life. And I love it. Love the Big Apple. My God, is it expensive. It's expensive to breathe in New York City. It is. Just taking one breath, that's like $5. It's crazy in New York City. So you want to lock in your rates. So over at sportsethos.com, you don't have to deal with any of that, okay? We're not going to charge you for oxygen, all right? And we're going to charge you low dough for this stuff. But you lock it in. And so like 5 years from now, you're going to be at the same rate you were 5 years ago. You get it? You dig? Cool. All right, good. All right, so let's move on here. The Fantasy WNBA Today, and it is time for the bottom three. And this one right here is a massive buzzkill, and I got to like bring it down a little bit because I'm fired up right now, but this is sad, man. What's going on with Courtney Vandersloot? It's not good, and my heart goes out to her. She's going to miss the remainder of this season, tearing her right ACL on Saturday. I also am a torn ACL recoverer, and the right one as well. I did not have any meniscus, pardon me, any meniscus damage, and I certainly hope she didn't. But my heart goes out to Courtney Vandersloot. This is going to be a long recovery for her. She's not young anymore, all right? And they took a massive L, 79-58 to the Fever on Saturday when this happened. Sloot was driving to the basket, went down with 5:29 left in the first quarter. She was it was just scary. You could tell. You saw it with Cam Brink. You saw it with Juju Watkins. Like, it just sucks, man. But it's, driving to the basket, you get sidecarred, you get kind of thrown off a little bit, and the wheels start to get like out of alignment and stuff goes haywire, man. It just happens. You see it with guys. Jamal Murray, when he tore his ACL, driving to the bucket. That was the game where Steph passed Will Chamberlain for the most points in Warriors history. And he just got his leg just too far out in front, too much weight on it, wrong way, ding, and the thing went. So it happens, man. Kawhi Leonard, sidecarred by Joe Ingles, driving to the hoop in a playoff game, ding, things go wrong. It's just what it is, man. It's basketball. They say it's not a contact sport. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. It is a contact sport. It's not a collision sport like football or hockey, but it is a contact sport. There's no doubt about that. So they lose Courtney Vandersloot. Coach Marsh said she's our engine, she's our captain, our leader out there. So obviously it's a huge blow. Hopefully it's not as serious as we may think. We're hoping she's able to bounce back, but for the time being, we all got to pick her up. We all got to lift her up, and we got to lift each other up. And this was like right after, this was before the announcement that Sloot had torn her ACL. But like I always say, everybody involved knows right away. Right away. That's why you see the long faces. That's why you see from her teammates, right? Like, oh my God, Sloot just tore her ACL. Like, they know right away. The trainer comes over, they flex the knee, and they know. In that moment, right there. No MRIs, no nothing. They're trained to know in that moment. And then signs point to, they won't like say, they say signs point to a torn ACL, or it appears that you've torn your ACL. They'll soften it up a little bit, and then pending the results. But everybody knew. And so it's always a heavy heart situation for the team. When Milwaukee lost Damian Lillard, all this kind of stuff. Boston loses Jason Tatum. Like, they know, like, our dude and he ain't playing next year. And oh my God, like, it's suck on suck on suck. Yes, it is. It is suck on top of suck on top of suck. Now, Haley Van Lith is going to be put up to bat right now, people. She played a season-high 26 minutes on Saturday with Sloot sideline. And so I've got more on Van Lith coming up when we talk a little bit of fantasy. Obviously, we talk a lot of reality WNBA. Here it is, the Fantasy WNBA Today. Hey, with your boy Rick Kamla. What's up? Courtney Vandersloot is 36 years young, in her 15th WNBA season. She is a GOAT, okay? She's not the GOAT. She's a GOAT. Big difference. She was the number 3 draft pick back in 2011 by Chicago, spent the first 12 years of her career with the Sky, helped them win the 2021 NBA title with Coach Wade, with Candace Parker. Then Sloot went to New York the last 2 years, won another title last year in a smaller, like, part-time role, but still a viable player. And on May 29th, she became the Sky's all-time leading scorer, passing her wife, Allie Quigley, to set the mark. That's pretty freaking cool right there. She's the WA's active leader in assists, and trailing only Sue Bird all time. Think about that. Only Sue Bird has more dimes in the history of the WNBA than Courtney Vandersloot. And she, I believe Sloot had the record for dimes in a game that Caitlin Clark broke last year, and Sloot has led the league in assists 5 times. She is a first ballot Hall of Famer. You don't even need to look up her resume. The stuff I read right there, I'm sure she's got overseas accolades and all kinds of stuff. She is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I hope that she's not done, okay? She's 36, and so, next year, probably not going to play. I mean, unless there's like just an awesome recovery here, but her chances of playing next year don't look great, right? That's her age 37 season. Then I don't know. Like, I really, really hope that we have not seen the last of Courtney Vandersloot. Love her game. She's a dog, super smart, super skilled, and I'm a fan, dude. So, Sloot, we love you. We're sending, blessings and strength to you as you work your way through this, and hopefully you can come back next year. But if not, for your age 38 season and rock and roll. The Sky hit rock bottom in this game, man. They did. They scored 15 or fewer points in each quarter, and they didn't have any players score in double figures. Not even Angel Reese. Nobody hit 10 points. Nobody. How do you do that? Both were firsts for the franchise, which began in 2006. This is rock bottom for the entire franchise history. Saturday, rock bottom for the entire history of the franchise, which now goes basically the 20th season, it seems like, here for this guy. That's insane. That's insane. No players hitting double figures. All right, but God bless Luke. All right. As I continue on here with my bottom 3 for the last week in the WNBA, the once proud Las Vegas Aces got destroyed by the Golden State Valkyries, who we led the show with. Saturday's 95-68 loss. Okay? 95-68. Marked the 3rd largest defeat for the Aces in the Becky Hammon era. It was also their second 20-point setback this season. First time they've had more than one under Becky Hammon. So they're getting drilled a couple of times here. Golden State led by 21 at halftime. They outscored Vegas 34-15 in the second quarter. Becky Hammon absolutely nuked her team after the game. Nuked it. She said, "It's us being soft mentally and letting people punk us." She is such a breath of fresh air. Becky, we love you out here. Don't change. Even if they fire you, which would be the dumbest move ever, don't change, man. I love this. Old school, baby. Keep the old school alive, Becky. Do it. It's us being soft mentally and letting people punk us. Yes. Say it. Say it. And here's the thing. Oh, well, she should only say this to her team in the locker room. Nah. What she's saying to her team in the locker room is way worse than that. I promise you. This is the PG version right here. In the locker room, she going ham. I'm telling you, man. Ham. Becky doesn't care about your feelings, bro. I love coaches that don't care about your feelings. That is what you should be doing as a coach. It's not about feelings, man. It's about winning, period. You're on board or you're not on board. You're rowing the boat or you're not rowing the boat. Where are we going here? Becky, I love it. She says, I got to read it one more time. I love this so much. It's us being soft mentally and letting people punk us and whining instead of buckling down and saying, okay, if that's what it's going to be, let's go. Again, is this not ringing really, really well in your ears? It should be, especially you youngins out there. Should be, wow, I can't believe she's saying that. This is how we used to roll. This is how we should continue to roll. She said, by the way, Becky's like the most success. Well, Cheryl Reeve is the GOAT of coaching in the WNBA right now. Becky Hammon's pretty damn close, man. Pretty, I mean, probably number 2, right? She's a G, bro. She's a gangster, okay? Get out of her way is what I would recommend with Becky Hammon, and respect her, man. Respect. I told them effort has to come from your heart. The schemes, the discipline, the habits, that's your head. Right now, we not only have a heart issue, but it's becoming a head issue. How dope is that? She continues, I'm not going to coach effort. It's one thing I can't deal with. You are in charge of your effort. I've never been a coach to pull for mistakes, but I will pull for effort. She's not saying root, as in pull, as in a verb, as in a synonym for root. She's saying, I'm going to pull you off the floor, okay? Sub you out is what she's saying right there. I've never been a coach to pull for mistakes, but I will pull for effort. Damn right. And you know what? The great Larry Brown, one of my faves, Hall of Fame coach, the only guy to win a chip in the NBA and in college basketball, Kansas and the Detroit Pistons. Only guy. I love me some Larry Brown. Larry Brown always used to say, I don't coach effort. That's not my job. My job is to get these players ready, get them motivated, all that kind of stuff. But my job is not to coach effort. You are playing in the NBA. You should play like your ass is on fire every minute of every game. Those are my words, not his, but you get the point. But he used to always say that. I'm not going to coach effort. And Larry just so like downbeat and like mellow and laid back. LB, love you, bro. Hope you're enjoying retirement, your beautiful family. Hammond goes on. This team, we've got to decide who we want to be on a night in, night out basis. We hold a team to 70 one night and then come out here and give up almost 100. I don't know if they've scored 100 all year. It's a good old-fashioned ass whooping. They outplayed us in every aspect of the game. It's one of the worst games I've seen from us. So I just love that Becky nuked her team. Chelsea Gray said about this, what is out there? That's not an Aces team that we're used to seeing. We're trying to figure it out in our locker room, in our meetings. It's uncharted territory right now for us. We have not seen this side or played like this since we've been together and played under Becky. Okay, we talked about rock bottom for the Chicago Sky. This is rock bottom for the Becky Hammon Las Vegas Aces. Okay. And rock bottom for the Aces looks a lot better than rock bottom for the Sky. But nevertheless, this is rock bottom for the Aces. I told you, okay, your boy Kam over here. Again, a GOAT, not the GOAT. I have my finger on the pulse of this league. The WNBA. We love this league. And I can tell you something right now. I told you before the year, Vegas is dipping. You lose Kelsey Plum. You're not going to have that spark, that mojo, that energy, that swag. They are going to miss that. Okay. And then you have, it's one of the worst trades in WNBA history. They gave up picks. To me, they ruined their team. They ruined it. Not unlike what Dallas did with Luka. Okay. They ruined their team. They made a move they didn't need to make. And like, I'm not a Vegas fan. I don't care. Do what you want with your team. I'm an analyst. I'm a critic. And I'm going to tell it like it is over here. It is a god-awful horseshit trade that ruined the Las Vegas Aces. And they're not going to win another title. They're not, I don't know. I'm not going to say ever, but I don't see one soon. I don't see one in the next 5 years. Unless they pull off a heist to reverse them getting heisted, okay, then things can change. But they don't have a pick next year, guys. And I would just want that to make a trade to bring, but they can't do that. Okay, they're screwed as I look at it. They ruined their team. Jewel Lloyd. Okay, is she done? Is she done? Is she the Kyle Lowry of the WNBA? Like, is it time to schedule the press conference? Where are we going here? Jewel Lloyd, where's your game at, bro? I can't. Oh, it's Becky Hammond's fault. Oh, it's rotations. Oh, it's spacing. Dude, at some point, go get buckets. Go get buckets. What is happening here? Against GSV, an expansion team, she had 5 points. 5. She made one shot. 1 of 6. Asia Wilson only took 13 shots in this game. This is what rock bottom looks like. I literally, like I said, finger on the pulse of this league, and I called a bunch of stuff that's happening now before the season, right? Okay, I did not call Jewel Lloyd completely cratering and becoming not a good player. She's a future Hall of Famer, guys. Future Hall of Famer. And the DeWanna Bonner thing in Indiana, with her coming off the bench and her stats suck now, and it's like, didn't see that coming. Okay, they messed around with her coming off the bench in the preseason, but I was like, nah. I shouldn't have just dismissed that because I had some Bonner shares and very regretful of that now. DeWanna, love you. It's not you. It's the minutes you're playing. It's your coach's fault. But anyway, I did not see the DeWanna Bonner fall and the Jewel Lloyd fall. Those are 2 things I did not see, all right? And then number 3 in the bottom 3, it's the Fantasy WNBA Today with your boy, Rick Kamla, and it's Dallas time. I wish, like, fangs could, like, shink, come down like sharp fangs, like where I'd just go in and sink my teeth into, like the kill of the lion, you know what I mean? Like, Tierra McCown, we've talked a lot about her this year. Tierra McCown of the Dallas Wings has left the team or is leaving the when, and is she actually oversees it? But she is leaving the team to participate in the FIBA Women's Eurobasket. She will be playing for the Turkish women's national team. She departed for the tournament on June 7th, so she has already left. That was 2 days ago. Guys, Tierra McCown, one of the better bigs. She's like a Yaka Pirtle. That name meaning any of the Toronto Raptors. Really, really solid center for the Toronto Raptors. Under the radar, not talked about a lot, doesn't make all-star teams, but dang it, the numbers are pretty freaking good every year. That's Tierra McCown. Not this year, because her dumbass coach, Chris Koklanis, whatever his name is, decided to bring her off the bench. Well, that pissed Tierra McCown off. She staged a walk-off, I believe it was after the first game, when they were huddling up after getting slaughtered by some team, left for the locker room early. Not mad at her. Had her back for that. I think we talked about Lloyd. We talked about Bonner. I did not see the fall of Tierra McCown. I didn't think this dumbass coach would start Hines Allen over her. He brought Melissa Smith off the bench against the Minnesota Lynx. Dude, Tierra McCown just left for Turkey, you dumbass, and now you're bringing Melissa Smith, who is an absolute starter in this league, off the bench. Bro, you have no clue what you're doing. He is literally like, you know what he's doing? He is Chris Koklanis. Here's his coaching strategy. You guys are going to love this, okay? He rips up little pieces of paper like this, like so, okay? And I'll just do 2. So on this piece of paper right here, he'll write Paige, as in Paige Beckers, okay? And she's been missing time with a concussion, all right? But follow me here. On this, he puts Arike, as in Arike Ogunbowale, who he has ruined, okay? And then let's put like a Maddie Segrist, okay? A little Segrist on you there. All right, I tried my best with her name. I'm going fast here. All right, so he takes these little pieces. This is Chris Koklanis, the coach of the Dallas Wings. I'm Rick Kamla with the Fantasy WNBA Today. You don't get content like this anywhere but Sports Ethos. So he takes these little pieces of paper with the names of his players on them, and he scrunches them up, okay? And he does it to all of them. And he's got, 12 players a team, okay? So he's got 12 of these little pieces of paper, okay? And he gets his dorky little Dallas Wings hat out, all right? And he puts it flat, and he puts these in the hat. And then he shakes it up a little bit, and then he pulls it out of the hat, okay? And he goes like this. And then he undoes the little piece of paper, and then on this piece of paper, it says Arike. All right, Arike's starting. Okay, who's the next starter that we have? And he goes on down the line. This guy has no clue. Bro, spin the bottle. You don't even have to do the paper trick. This is actually kind of annoying and wasteful of time, right? Just spin the bottle, bro. All right, some lady I've never heard of is starting against the Minnesota Lynx. Get in there. Get lathered up. You're playing more minutes today. Bro, you're clueless. They need to fire this guy. They need to just admit that they screwed this up. The Dallas Wings. Just admit you screwed it up, okay? And fire this guy. Clueless. Out of his mind. Okay, think about this, guys. Dallas, what are they? 1-9. They're 1-9. The Valkyries have a way better record than you. Is Dallas great? No, Dallas is not great. However, you have two great players, Arike Ogunbowale and Paige Beckers. And I know Paige has been out like 4 games now, whatever it is. But Paige played in 6 of the 10 games they played. All right? You should have 3 wins right now. I'm not saying this should be a 500 team. 3 wins, 4 wins. Okay? You have Arike Ogunbowale, Paige Beckers, Dejanay Carrington, who I really, really like, Nalissa Smith, who we talked about, Maddie Segrist. If you were playing it straight, I would add Tiara McCowan to that list because she's been a really solid WNBA player for 6 or 7 years now. That is 6 players. Dude, if you have McCowan, and Hines Allen, by the way, who has started for McCowan, she's played pretty well, all right? So that's 7. In theory, you bring Hines Allen off the bench, you continue to start McCowan, okay? So now you're getting great stuff from Hines Allen. Tiara McCowan still locked in, still happy, still starting. And, Paige with the concussion is what it is. That's 7 ladies. That's 7 deep. Not every WNBA team goes 7 deep. Golden State doesn't. Washington doesn't. Connecticut doesn't. I can tell you all of this right now. They don't go 7 deep. The LA Sparks don't go 7 deep, okay? They don't. The Chicago Sky don't go 7 deep. But you do. And you're 1-9. Worst record in the NBA. Andre, I am waiting. Remember last year in the NBA season, Andre's our great producer, and I kept checking with Andre jokingly, like, has Coach Bud been fired yet? Because it was like so obvious he was going to get fired. And so it's kind of a running joke. Has Coach Bud been fired yet? We now have a running joke here for the Fantasy WNBA Today, Andre. Has Coach Koklanis been fired yet? I'm going to say it repeatedly all year long. This guy sucks. I'm telling you right now, not knowing anything about the team other than, what I know on paper and what I see on TV, I could coach this team better than him. It's not, you just play your best players. You just play your best players until they get tired. You sub them out. You put somebody in, and then you put them back in when their tongues are back in their mouths, and they're not doing that anymore. And they had a little Gatorade on the sideline. Put them back in the game. It's not that hard, dummy. It's not that hard. It's crazy. Tiara McCowan, by the way, she played 9 games, no starts, 14 minutes a game, 1 early exit, and she's obviously pissed. And she has taken her ball and gone to Turkey. Bro, Coach Koklanis is so clueless and so brutal and so awful. He sent one of the better players in the WNBA to Turkey during the season. Does this make any sense to anybody? It pisses me off. And he's ruined Arike Ogunbowale. Ruined her. She's gone from 22 a game to 15 a game. And it ain't sharing with Paige Beckers. I'm not blaming it on that. It's this dumbass not doing a good enough job of and she's kind of like maybe even, she may want to check out. Like, this is so boring. This is so awful. Like, I'm not going to bring my A game. I don't know where we're going with it. And I'm tired of talking about Dallas and we're moving on here. Hey, if you guys want to support us, here's what you do. Coach Koklanis, that was free. Guy gets me fired up. So does Becky Hand. Hey, Becky, I want Vegas to play. I want her to beat Koklanis 100-50. Come on, baby. Let's go, Becky. Coach that mofo under the floor, bro. I have no idea when they're playing, but I want everybody to drill Dallas right now. Get this guy fired. Guys, as I get a notification from the WNBA here, what does it say? It's time to line them up. A new era has begun. All right, some promotional thing. I'm into this league, dude. All right, you want to support us? Here's what you do. The best way is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And if you're feeling generous, drop us a written review. It helps us grow and reach even more people. I mean, you can take like 3 minutes, put a paragraph. This Kamla guy is pretty on point with the WNBA. Good show. I watch it every week. Send. Could be that easy. All right, the Kammy of the week goes to Skylar Diggins. Seattle beat Phoenix in Phoenix on Saturday behind a big one from Diggins. And it was not a coincidence at all. Matter of fact, I believe it was a little bit personal. Here's why. She had 26 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 8 of 18 shooting, made 4 threes. She played for the Phoenix Mercury. Oh, yes, she did. 3 seasons from 2020 to 2022. So recently, she was then traded to the Seattle Storm. Her tenure with the Mercury was not without controversy. Reports suggesting she was unhappy with the team. They were not allowing her to use the practice facility while on maternity leave. This still pisses me off. Dude, when a lady is pregnant or when a lady has just given birth, the answer is yes. Right? The answer is yes. Okay? Like, is the answer always yes to your wife in general? Well, for the most part. I didn't necessarily get that right all the time. But when your wife is, or significant other who is pregnant, or let's say your sister's pregnant, your friend is pregnant, your coworker's pregnant, like whoever, your boss is pregnant, whoever. When a lady is pregnant, the answer's yes. And right after, like when her child is 3 months old or whatever, the answer's yes, bro. It's not, you can't cut. I mean, it's shockingly appalling. It doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, she's like, bro, I'm trying to get in here and work out and get my game back together. And you're telling me I can't? And you're my employer. What? That makes as much sense as the Luka Doncic trade, dude. Which means none. I love the revenge game angle. And apparently so does Skylar Diggins, okay? And with this, she helped Seattle to a 5-4 record. Skylar Diggins having another all-star season. 17.8 points, 6.4 assists, 1.4 steals. Ooh la la. What a stat line. 34 years old, young, I should say. And time flies with that. But she is tracking towards the Hall of Fame. Not quite there. Tracking towards the Hall of Fame. 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA. All right, she'll have a 7th All-Star this year. No ring. She did win Most Improved Player back in the day. She's 11th all-time in assists, 28th all-time in points, 40th all-time in steals. All right, she's top 40 in 3 of the most important categories. She's got 1 Olympic gold medal, 2-time Big East Player of the Year. It's probably a Hall of Fame resume right now. But like I say, you look at some like Sue Bird and Taurasi and Vandersloot, who we talked about, like their resumes are like a level up, right? Jewel Lloyd even has a resume a level up. I think she's won 2 WNBA titles. So Skylar, it's really, really good. She's tracking towards the Hall of Fame, and I've been a big fan for a long time. All right, fantasy meets reality, guys. It's time to talk about Haley Van Lith. The Vandersloot injury has ushered Van Lith into prime time minutes right now. She is, we talked about Veronica Burton. Haley Van Lith now has a chance to be the best fantasy pickup of the year, or maybe second to Burton. But, and very happy to note, I went through Sunday morning and made my rounds for, I think I'm in 7 WNBA fantasy leagues. And I got to the Sports Ethos leagues, which are 10-team leagues. And I'm in 5 6-team leagues, and I'm in 2 10-team leagues with a lot of the fans, a lot of audience members, a lot of our writers and stuff. There are Sports Ethos leagues. And I was able to pick up Van Lith in both of those leagues on Sunday. And I was like, let me just check. She's probably picked up. She's available? Bang. She's available? Bang. So I was able to pick her up, and I'm super excited about that. What are my records? I think I'm 2-1 and 1-2, or 2-1 and 2-1. I've had injuries. I have Kalia Copper on like every team. I have Natasha Mack on like every team. I've had Tiffany Hayes. I've had Kayla McBride. I've had Brittany Griner. I've had Caitlin Clark. The injuries, Jonquel Jones, the injuries are just brutal for me right now. Every time I look, another lady went down with an injury. It sucks, man. But hopefully that's happening early in the year. Then they'll leave my team alone and we can go win championships. But Haley Van Lith is now going to be a big-time player for me in those 10-team leagues where starters are gold, and even like high-minute bench players are really valuable in a 10-team WNBA league. So I'm super psyched to get Van Lith. Check your waiver wire. Maybe your league is sleeping a little bit and you can go pick her up. But she is going to be really good. Jordan Canada, probably not on your waiver wire. But you remember she missed the start of the season, missed 2 or 3 weeks. Her first game of the year was Friday, okay? She started. She didn't play very long, 17 minutes. She didn't play well. She missed all 7 shots. She had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and a steal. But she's back. She's starting. And I want you to check your waiver wire for Jordan Canada because she is a starting point guard for a really good team and is going to have a lot of goodies here the rest of the way. Naz Hillman is somebody you need to pick up, okay? Naz Hillman is a big for Atlanta who comes off the bench behind Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones, but she has ascended into a bulk minute 6th woman role. All right, last 4 games, she's playing 29 minutes, 26, 24, 23. Especially like in a 10-team league, this is what I'm talking about. A high-minute bench player is very valuable. Her points over this time have gone 7, 11, 11, and 14. Get her. And especially if you have Brittany Griner, you have to pair her with Naz Hillman because Brittany Griner is going to miss games with rest. She could suffer an injury. She's an aged player. Get you some Naz Hillman, okay? Shakira Austin is a little bit more speculative here, okay? Because she entered the season, in my opinion, as the starting center for the Mystics. It hasn't worked out that way. She was hurt. And she's coming off the bench. So Sunday, 14 and 5 in 16 minutes. The previous game, she played 23 minutes. I feel like and she had 9, 11, and 4 with 1 steal. Pretty good line. I feel like they're ramping her up to get her up to 28, 29 minutes so they can start her. I could be wrong about that, but even in her like high-minute bench role right now, because she's a really talented player, she's putting up some good goodies. So I would look into getting some Shakira Austin. She may be on your waiver wire. Lexi Held with Phoenix is really balling out. Last 3 games, 16, 24, and 14 with the points, with 6 steals over that time. And then Cecilia Zandalasini of Golden State. She has started the last 2 games, 30 minutes, 18 points, 3 dimes, a steal, 30 minutes, 15, 5 and 1, 1 block, 4 steals. She has 6 defensive goodies in the last 2 games. I like that. All right, some pop players for you. Kayla Thornton, we talked about her a little bit. 22 and 11 with 2 steals and 4 threes against the Aces. What a game. Marina Mabry on Friday in the win over Atlanta. 34, a win over Atlanta, right? That's shocked me. And they got it because Marina Mabry went crazy. 34, 4 and 4. She made 13 of 22 shots. Kiki Iriafin, my new favorite player in the WNBA, against the Liberty, okay, in a loss. Check this out. She had 17 and 9, 17 points, 9 boards in 18 minutes. She was in foul trouble. She had 5 fouls. She was obviously going up against Breanna Stewart and Jonquel Jones for a little bit of that game. I think that's the game where that's the game where Jonquel got hurt and she didn't play very long. But anyway, 17 and 9 in 18 minutes. Kiki Iriafin, wow, what a player. Big fan. Kelsey Mitchell is hitting a heater, 41 points over her last 2 games. Injury buzzkills before we get out of here. Jonquel Jones, she was helped off the court with a right ankle injury. We don't know when she's going to come back, but we wish her well. Alyssa Thomas still on the shelf for the Phoenix Mercury. We talked about her last week with the calf. We're still talking about it. Not good. Paige Beckers still on the shelf. She was maybe going to play Sunday against Minnesota. Coming out of the concussion protocol, it didn't go that way. She did not play, and I don't know when we're going to see her, but I presume it won't be too long from now. All right, what do I have time for here? I was going to talk about Duana Bonner, but Duana, I love you. It was kind of like how the fever have ruined her. I don't know, because I'm running out of time here. So I want to give a shout out before we get out to Seattle Storm center Lee Yuru. I'm not sure how you say her last name. Lee Ururu. I don't know how to say her last name. But she requested a trade from the Seattle Storm because of lack of playing time. She said, I don't feel I have enough time on the court. She said, I came here only to play the game. I'm really happy and appreciative because I know many teammates. I've made many new friends. I know many different staff, coach. They really let me feel happy. And so I'm glad for that. But playing is one of the most, playing is one of the important things for me. I mean, it's super early in the season. It's a player that's like not, I mean, she was a good prospect coming out, all this kind of stuff. But let's see, where was she drafted? I don't have that. But anyway, she bounced around a little bit here. She was with the Chicago Sky. She was with the LA Sparks. I don't know how good she is. She really hasn't gotten playing time. But the fact that she is asking for a trade, I just think it's gangster. Stand up for yourself, right? And she's even stuck behind Dominique Malonga, who's not playing enough time in Seattle. And so there's no real path to playing time for her. So she wants out, and I respect that. But it's pretty gangster to play that card this early in the season. And frankly, there aren't a lot of trade requests like this in the WNBA. So Lee, go get yours, man. I support it. And they are too deep in the front court there in Seattle, and something needs to budge. And she could probably help another team if given some significant playing time. I think of Phoenix. With all the injuries they have, they could probably use a little bit of Lee. All right, we are out of here. Big thanks to our producer, Andre Lemouche. Big thanks to all of you for watching. I love you guys. Retweet this on your timelines. Let them know that Rick Kamla is talking about the WNBA like nobody else from a reality perspective, from a fantasy perspective. Download the app from your favorite app store, Sports Ethos, and go to sportsethos.com and subscribe to our work over there. For Andre, I am Kam. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll be back next Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, with the next episode of the Fantasy WNBA Today. Until then, peace and love.